In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Wave 66 of Operation Promise of the Faithful Four, with the blessed code YA0, peace be upon her, targeted objectives in the heart and south of the occupied territories, Tel Aviv, and American terrorist army bases in the region, was successfully executed with God's grace. In this wave, advanced solid and liquid fuel precision-guided systems and multiple warheads, including Khormuz breaker and Khyber breaker, medium-range Shiam and Zulfikar, and destruction drones were used. Following this wave, attacks on West Jerusalem, Haifa, and the al-Zafar base of the American terrorist army in the region was successfully executed with God's grace. During the time of awaiting the arrival of Imam Mahdi, may God hasten his arrival, on the final morning of the blessed month of Ramadan, with the help of God Almighty and with the prayers of you, the faithful people, the 6th to 7th wave of the next Operation Promise of the Faithful Four, with the blessed code YA Saib al-Zaman, Lord of the Time, was dedicated to the late esteemed Brigadier General Ali Mohammed Naini, the spokesperson of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and his martyred brother. We open the gates of fire and pain upon the hidden nests of American soldiers and their radar equipment in the region, and the military infrastructure of the occupied Palestinian territories, with a train of heavy missiles and a rain of drones. In this operational wave, the Ali Salem base, the Aerospace Drone Command, aircraft maintenance and repair hangars, helicopter equipment and support facilities, and the Operations Center of the U.S.-led coalition forces, early warning radar systems and missile defense, and the U.S. gathering point at al-Fitr base were precisely targeted with long-range and medium-range solid and liquid fuel systems, with God's grace. Furthermore, satellite, radar, and air defense centers of the Zionist regime in the center, south, and north of the occupied territories were effectively targeted. Today, in addition to the physical dismantling of the enemy, they have also become a symbol of internal collapse. The sudden withdrawal of the USS Gerald Ford, the U.S. Navy's aircraft carrier, from the battlefield, and the failure to provide military support to the tired and defeated American forces in West Asia expose a hollowness of arrogant material power. This military giant that you boast about is nothing more than a paper and hollow facade for the Iranian armed forces. The change in the carrier's course towards a U.S. base and the attempt to avoid passing through the Bab al-Mandab Strait have raised a question in public opinion worldwide and in the region. Why should a $13 billion U.S. warship be afraid of a few $1,000 speedboats from the resistance forces? However, such a shaky and unstable situation has recently been created for another U.S. Navy ship, the USS Abraham Lincoln, in the Indian Ocean. The soldiers of Islam are eagerly awaiting delivering a hard slap to the American warship in the depths of the battlefield, and are fully prepared to show the American Marines the naval surprises firsthand. The fate of Saddam awaits Trump and Netanyahu, the criminals. Our entry into the field is not a defeat. God has closed the path of defeat for us. Do you see more than two paths before us? Both paths are glorious for us. One is a path of martyrdom, whose glory is eternal, fixed, and immutable. And the other is a path of victory, which is a victory for us both. There is no power except with God, the exalted, the wise.
I thought I'd bring our great Secretary of State out, and he is doing a fantastic job. So we have Marco. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask you, Iran executed 3 people this week.
Terrible.
You have vowed strong action in the past. What message would you send?
Well, we've been hitting them awfully hard. I mean, I don't know if you can possibly get hit harder, but these are thugs and animals and horrible people. But you can't hit anybody harder than we've hit them. But I'm not surprised. They executed 3 young people for protesting.
And do you plan to escort those ships through the Strait of Hormuz with or without allies?
We're doing very well there. We're doing very well overall. You know, we don't use the strait. We don't. The United States. We don't need it. Europe needs it. Korea, Japan, China, a lot of other people. So they'll have to get involved a little bit on that one. I don't know if you can possibly get hit harder, but these are thugs and animals and horrible people.
Do you think Israel will be ready to end the war when you're ready to end
I think
the
so,
war?
yeah.
What makes you think so?
The relationship's a very good one. I think so. You know, it's, we want more or less similar things. You know what we want? We want victory, both of us, and that's what we've got.
How will the operation?
Well, you know, I may have a plan or I may not, but how would I ever say that to a reporter? If I said that to a reporter, Marco would say, "Please, sir, let's bring you over to the helicopter immediately." Right? No, I can't tell you that. It's certainly a place that's people are talking about, but I can't say. Yeah.
Are you ruling out ground troops?
Marco would say, "Please, sir, let's bring you over to the helicopter immediately." Right?
What do you mean by that? He said the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that?
Oh, I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
So how much longer should the American people expect it?
You said opening the Strait of Hormuz is a simple military maneuver.
Very simple.
Yeah, but what did you mean by that?
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us. But, you know, we don't use it. You know, at a certain point, it'll open itself at a certain point. But we've defeated the enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick group of people. The leadership is gone. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone. The anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have, is all gone. Everything's gone. The strait itself, the actual strait, how are you? The strait itself is, we're doing a good job, but it would be nice if the countries, including China, if the countries that use it, China uses it 90% of their energy. Japan is 95% of the energy. It would be nice if those countries would get involved. I really thought that oil prices would go much higher when I did this. We just set every record in the book with Dow, with the S&P. Dow hit 50,000, S&P hit 8,000, 7,000 at levels, at speed like nobody's ever seen before. But I said I have to go off on that path and I have to take a little journey. We have to get and he would agree, but he's not going to say it. And this is not St. Patrick's Day, by the way. What are you doing with that tide? But we had to go off on a circuitous path and take care of business, and we are in the process of doing it. And I'll tell you, I think we're weeks ahead of schedule.